We interrupt this commercial break to discuss the items in one last zone, Eggmanland. Just like before, this is the Wii version, and I'm starting in the daytime. Granted, it looks pretty dark out, but whatever. Anyway, the items are ridiculously easy to spot here. After the spring near the beginning and the action chain that ensues, the best thing to do is to go straight forward. Granted, there's a guy with an electrical shield, but you can work around him with a jump or a quick step. After that, we move on close to the end. You'll land on a three-way road, and again, quick step is useful here. As you can see, you should step to the side to dodge this wall and then immediately step to the middle to get the item. Then you'll find the ending a short distance away. With that in mind, let's take one last look at some nighttime stages. During your infiltration of Eggman's base, you'll find that the first fight scene has a room that you can look around. There's a few units of machinery off to the left, and there's also some crates right next to the machinery, so using the crates you can get enough height to get on top of it. Particularly important is the switch that you find on the unit near the exit. You'll see a door open because of the camera, and if you look over to the far right corner of the room, you'll know how to get there too. There's a glowing ledge you can grab, and after a bit of shuffling, you'll get to the door and get the item. You could try jumping from the corner to the door too. I've never tried it, but if it works, it'd save you some time. Shortly afterward, you'll come to another fight scene at this elevator, and now's another good time to look around. Because again, there's something good off to the far right up above the main floor. Before or during the first wave of enemies, make sure to check out this hole because there's an obvious item right here. Now when you get off this elevator, you'll have an item that's less obvious. Rounding this corner, you'll have a glowing ledge on this left wall. It's high enough that spotting it could be tricky, but tricky or not, you'll still have to jump up and grab it because it leads you to a ledge with yet another item. And that's it, so go to the goal ring. So, we continue to the robot factory. Eventually here, you'll see a swinging handle hanging over some fire. Needless to say, you'll have to use this handle to move on forward, but before you do, feel free to jump back into the right, because as you'll discover, there's a ledge in that direction and an item along with it. Back on the main path, you'll see a familiar sign not too far up ahead. You'll have a barrel, some fire to quench, and if you drop down to where the conveyor belt is just in front of you, another item awaits. Before you finish up, there's one last combat section, and here you have a couple of options. Looking off to the left, we have a glowing bar far up above. That means there's a platform to go with it. And once you've killed all the monsters here, there's a flapper that spawns. As such, it's possible that you can get on this platform by letting the flapper carry you and using the handlebar on the adjacent wall. So, pick something that works, get the item, and move on to finish. So now we're going beyond the factory. Near the beginning, after these swinging bars, there are these moving blocks. Now you probably know that you have to get on top of the first block from the right to go forward, but before you continue on with the stage, consider going to the left because there's an item there. There's something similar up ahead too. After some more swinging, you'll have a couple of flappers that you can hang on to, and another set of moving gray blocks. Not surprisingly, you can use a swinging handle to get on the blocks, and if you're on the block of the right, there's a swinging bar that you can use to go up. And guess what's there? Right after that, there's a combat scene. And again, there's a little something you can get if you go up. First, jump onto this platform and grab onto the swinging handle. Then swing yourself up and to the right. Then I believe you know the drill from here. Then the end actually isn't too far off, but there's one last thing you should look at. As you get chased by this giant gray block, there are two doors near the end. You could take the right door and go to the goal ring, but there's something that you don't want to miss on the left. So get it, and now you can take the other door and finish up. Now is the level where we head to 0 Point. You start out with a crate that you use so that you don't get burned. Actually, make that 2 crates. And after passing the last set of flamethrowers, not surprisingly, you'll have to go in the opposite direction of the main path. In one corner, you have some crates that you can actually break, and in another corner, you have an item. Getting back to the main path, you'll immediately get into a fight. And while you're fighting, you can see that there's a glowing ledge up above. So naturally, you'll have to get up there, and it couldn't hurt to use the crate for some extra height. But there are actually 2 items here, one of them being some red Gaiasoul that may or may not be useful depending on whether you leveled up all the way, as well as the collectible you're looking for. Going on farther, you'll see these fast-moving platforms as well as some more swinging handles. As you swing from the first handle, keep your eyes open because there's a dead obvious item above you. So to get it, just swing up from the middle handle. This last one is one that you'll miss if you go the wrong way. There's a shortcut if you go to the right here, but actually you're not supposed to take it. You have to go to the pole on the left. As you go down, there's a platform sticking out that you can grab, and you'll notice a couple of rings along the other edge of the platform. To follow the trail, simply drop down on the other edge and hold the grab button so that you don't fall. Then you can move along the trail of rings, and at the end there's a platform you can safely land on. And an item along with it, of course. Then, after some backtracking, you can continue on to end the stage. So, now it's time to finish off at the bottom level. Now, the first item I'm pretty sure you can figure out. There's a glowing ledge just ahead of you at the beginning, so climb on it and follow the trail, which comprises a couple of horizontal swinging bars and this narrow platform up here. And at the end of the trail, there's the first item. Later on, there's a pole to slide down, but if you look up, you'll notice that you can't see the top of the pole. In fact, if you look closely, you'll notice the pole goes a good way up before it reaches the ceiling. Therefore, by the time you reach the top, you'll be in a secret room above the main path, containing some Gaia Soul and another item. If you drop down, you'll go to a fight scene back on the main path, and then you'll have a hallway to go through. When the hallway ends, go to the near right corner of this platform. Now, the crates do a pretty good job of covering this up this time, but if you break them, then you'll expose another item. Meanwhile, a good distance away, there's this door that you have to lift. That's your cue to take a right at the end of this hall. Granted, it'll be down and to the left once the camera turns, but anyway, go destroy some crates and an item awaits. Then it's safe to go on and head to the end. This level being the last one, I have officially covered all the collectibles in the regular stages in Eggmanland and in the entire game. So now I just have to look at the items in the Gaia Gates and the missions, but for now, thanks for watching.